Waddle then gobbled for the gaggle and then made way for the President of the United States.
The turkeys being pardoned today go by the names of Gobble and Waddle. When I first saw their pictures, I thought we should send them, well, I shouldn't say this. I was going to call them Chuck and Nancy. But then I realized I wouldn't be pardoning them. I would never pardon those two people. I wouldn't pardon them. I wouldn't care what Melania told me. Darling, I think it would be a nice thing to do. I won't do it, darling.
I like when he takes us inside his relationship. Darling, why do you throw up when I open my robe? What are you doing, darling?
Kim Jong-un has state stenographers who follow him everywhere and scribble his genius ideas into their notebooks and applaud. Well, Republicans, that's you now. Republican Congressman Addison McDowell wants to name Dulles Airport after Trump. It'll be like other airports, except the international terminal only has departure.
No one expected to witness history today, but here we are. Jimmy Kimmel and Bill Maher combined their sarcasm superpowers and unleashed a monsoon of jokes on Trump so powerful it could light up all of Las Vegas. I swear, even the cameraman started laughing. It was brutal, it was ridiculous, and it was absolutely beautiful. There's one particular moment that the internet simply cannot stop replaying, and you're about to see exactly why. Prepare yourself, because we're diving in now.
It's not like Trump doesn't care about people. I mean, he has a lot of empathy. He's feeling especially bad right now for the family of the newly decrowned Jeffrey Epstein pal, the now...
Jimmy Kimmel storms into the chaos like a lightning bolt, crashing through a carnival tent made entirely of inflated confidence and half-finished decisions. The air trembles with the kind of dramatic tension usually reserved for disaster movie trailers. Trump stands squarely in the center of his own self-made storm, gripping his bravado like an umbrella riddled with holes, each gust of sarcasm threatening to rip it apart. Every movement, every glance, every attempt to appear composed only magnifies the absurdity surrounding him, transforming the scene into a theatrical spectacle of unintentional comedy.
And the governor is a big fat slob.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I mean, seriously, though. He says a lot of crazy stuff. In that same press conference, he said there have been no murders in Washington, D.C. in the last 6 months because of him. There have been 62 murders in Washington, which already indicates a vivid imagination. But does he really look at himself in the mirror and go, I am thin. I am so thin, I can
Bill Maher jumps into the fray with the swagger of a man who has just discovered a treasure chest overflowing with every presidential misstep ever committed. Trump attempts to maintain a grand pose, but the chaos around him crumbles like a cookie abandoned in a sunbeam, disintegrating under its own fragility. Bill's delivery transforms the scene into a wild cinematic montage, where the hero insists that all is under control, while the background erupts in slow-motion calamity. Each beat, each reaction, and each attempt at authority becomes an element in a masterful composition of comedic irony, leaving the audience both in awe and in stitches.
Mount Rushmore, because like Washington, he's a patriot. Like Teddy Roosevelt, he's a renegade. And like Abraham Lincoln, he's not really helping the theater scene in Washington. Yeah, the Kennedy Center is not something I really care a lot about, but I do care that an American president doesn't see anything wrong with him personally taking it over, or that his communications director, Stephen Chung, said it was justified because Trump, quote,
Jimmy returns with the relentless intensity of a spotlight that refuses to blink, exposing every fissure in Trump's carefully constructed public image. The president's expressions shift with alarming speed, swapping theatrical masks like a magician who forgot the routine, each revealing a new shade of confusion or overconfidence. Jimmy magnifies the absurdity, letting every gesture shimmer with comedic access. The atmosphere becomes charged, a stage where even the smallest movement takes on the resonance of a scene gone completely off script, and the audience feels the full electricity of observation mixed with mockery. The moment teeters between spectacle and theatrical critique, anchored only by the precision of Jimmy's relentless timing.
And then the president pardoned the birds as only he can.
Looks like a rather violent bird. It's hard to play. Anyway, are you ready? Beautiful. Very nice. You are hereby unconditionally pardoned.
There you go. All right. In 6 months when they're indicted for crypto fraud.
Bill steps forward, leading the audience through a gallery of presidential blunders painted with exaggerated strokes of chaos. Trump's attempt at maintaining regal authority falters under the scrutiny, his trembling presence louder than his intentions. Bill turns this unraveling into pure entertainment, almost like a dramatic opera performed in slow motion, each miscalculation a note in a symphony of comedic tension. The room hums with anticipation as the chaos escalates into electricity you could almost hold in your hands, each misstep transformed into a building block of hilarity, constructing a spectacle that seems both planned and spontaneously explosive at the same time.
Republicans dance like Trump now. They name weapons systems after him. They've even dressed like him with the trademark suit and tie. Available exclusively at Banana Republic. Yeah, all these super macho guys eating the ass of another man. Some even talk like him now with the crazy...
Jimmy shifts focus to Trump's latest attempt at mastery, a display wobbling like a poorly assembled statue collapsing under the weight of its own ambition. The dramatic irony is thick, almost tangible, and Jimmy slices through pretension with humor sharp enough to cut through decorative icing on a wedding cake. Trump's bravado melts under the glow of relentless mockery, each exaggerated gesture amplified by Jimmy's commentary. Bill returns, turning the scene into a cinematic study of a man directing a film no one else agreed to shoot, with movements choreographed by someone who forgot to read the script. The comedic rhythm builds like a storm, swelling into a rumble that collides with Jimmy's imagery of stage presence as a theatrical reenactment performed in slow, overextended gestures. Each motion cries for applause that never arrives, and the scene unfolds into a storm of irony that leaves the audience both dazzled and doubled over with laughter.
So, Governor Pritzker, if you're listening, let's get your act together. Invite us in. I had a little bit of a Pritzker joke. I was going to talk about Pritzker and size, but when I talk about Pritzker, I get angry because he's not letting us do the job. So I'm not going to tell my Pritzker joke. They have a very cute little joke, you know. Some speechwriter wrote some joke about his weight, but I would never want to talk about his weight. I don't talk about people being fat. I refuse to talk about the fact that he's a fat slob. I don't mention it.
I don't know if that's sarcasm or short-term memory loss. Either way, he really...
Bill keeps the fire burning, portraying Trump navigating his own chaos with the determination of a man stumbling blindly through a fog machine, oblivious to every exit. The effort is dramatic, bold, and perfectly misguided, elevated into a spectacle that deserves its own theme music. The air hums with comedic energy as Jimmy steps in, pointing out the absurdity of each attempted beat Trump tries to hit. Every gesture grows more elaborate, more precarious, each crack widening with every step. Jimmy turns each detail into a fireworks display, bursting unpredictably, making the spectacle irresistibly entertaining. Bill continues to unravel the plot of seriousness that becomes unintentional hilarity as Trump's gravitas wobbles like a chandelier hanging from a single fraying wire. The scene becomes a buffet of comedy, syruped with irony and sprinkled with dramatic miscalculation, leaving the audience gasping between laughter and disbelief.
Waddle then gobbled for the gaggle and then made way for the President of the United States.
The turkeys being pardoned today go by the names of Gobble and Waddle. When I first saw their pictures, I thought we should send them, well, I shouldn't say this. I was going to call them Chuck and Nancy. But then I realized I wouldn't be pardoning them. I would never pardon those two people. I wouldn't pardon them. I wouldn't care.
Jimmy paints Trump's latest endeavor as a high-stakes performance staged inside a hall of mirrors.
every reflection slightly off, distorted, and unintentionally dramatic. He stretches the humor like taffy, wrapping it around every moment until it binds the scene into an irresistible comedic spiral. Trump's determination only fuels the exaggeration, pushing each movement into absurdity. Bill complements the narrative, portraying every dramatic choice as a puzzle piece that refuses to fit despite confident shoving. Jimmy dives in again, highlighting a flair for theatrics spilling over like a cup overflowing, dripping drama and comedic exaggeration into every corner. The imagery becomes a carnival ride of chaotic ambition executed with unsteady precision. Bill steps forward, framing Trump's gestures as scenes from an overacted period drama missing its lead costume, and the audience sees the perfect mismatch between intent and reality. The moment swells with comedic resonance, a performance that refuses to settle and grows richer with each passing second.
Andrew in the UK has had his royal titles stripped away because of the Epstein scandal. I know you're close to the royal family there. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I feel very badly. I mean, it's a terrible thing that's happened to the family. That's been a tragic situation. And it's too bad. I mean, I feel badly for the family.
That family he feels bad for. The ones losing their food stamps, they're going to be fine. Don't worry about it. This is like Bill Cosby feeling bad.
Bill grabs the torch, turning Trump's dramatic gestures into lines from a script written during a caffeine-fueled all-nighter. The pacing alternates between frantic bursts and sluggish pauses, creating a roller coaster of unpredictable emotional swings, each sharpened with humor. Jimmy keeps the energy soaring, dissecting expressions that shift as erratically as someone juggling flaming torches while trying to keep a straight face. Comedy drips from every exaggerated detail. Bill elevates Trump's attempts at authority to the level of an overplayed theatrical scene set in a hall of velvet curtains and glittering chandeliers, the contrast between pose and wobbling foundation delivering pure comedic gold. Jimmy amplifies the chaos further, highlighting Trump's unique talent for transforming even calm moments into dramatic spirals of unpredictability. The scene inflates like a balloon overfilled with air, teetering on the brink of popping under comedic pressure, leaving the audience breathless with laughter.
Gretchen Whitmer looked like a toddler playing peekaboo in the Oval Office as she's afraid of the Liz Bratts of the world and the 12 social justice warriors on the internet and what they might tweet to their 7 followers. Alyssa Slotkin calls her party weak and woke. She's right. People vote on instinct. They can smell fear a swing state away, and they'd rather have strong and wrong. Having sex with Stormy Daniels was wrong, but Trump did.
Jimmy focuses on the swirling confusion around Trump, a glittering storm caught in a wind tunnel, sparkling and scattering with no hope of settling. He choreographs the chaos into a cyclone of comedy, twisting it into shapes both elaborate and absurd. Bill takes the scene further, transforming Trump's decision-making into a journey down a hallway illuminated with funhouse lights, each step echoing exaggerated tension. The comedy reaches a fever pitch as Jimmy describes confidence as a stage prop tipping over repeatedly, every wobble heightening the hilarity. Bill escalates the moment further, comparing theatrics to an orchestra that plays louder with every missed beat. The result is a symphony of misplaced ambition, runaway gestures, and elevated irony. A visual and emotional spectacle that leaves the audience simultaneously dazzled and doubled over.
Prince Andrew lost his royal status. He's been demoted to, I think he's the Archduke of Frimplepants now or something. Trump's claimed that he doesn't know Prince Andrew, and yet there are dozens of photos of them together. Here's just one of the many. I don't know if, what happened to Andrew in that photograph, but here's one of then Prince Andrew walking away from Trump. And look who else is in the picture, peeking in from the corner. You got convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell, who Trump wishes well and just had moved to a much more comfortable prison. And then lurking in the background, none other than Trump's
Bill escalates the sequence, turning Trump's missteps into overlapping dramatic moments, each competing for attention, swelling like a storm cloud on the verge of bursting. Punctuated with sharp humor, the spectacle fills every corner of the room. Jimmy circles back, portraying Trump trying to control a landscape built entirely on shifting sand, his wobble intensifying with every effort to regain posture. The chaos is molded into something almost operatic, a stage of exaggerated vulnerability and comic timing. Bill contributes with a flourish, letting the chaos spiral like a forgotten play performed for the first time, the comedic tension layering with every beat. Jimmy amplifies imagery with a flicker of spotlights revealing each exaggerated reaction, creating a storm of humor that cascades across the set. Bill finishes with a wave of commentary, crafting a narrative of emotional whiplash, over-the-top displays, and spiraling theatrics, leaving the audience immersed in a sustained comedic high.
Quite the opposite. It looks like he said to the photographer, widen that out so you can get these tits. He's got his mugshot hanging outside the Oval Office. He's literally got a guy working for him named
Jimmy tightens the focus, spotlighting the whirlwind Trump has cultivated, a vortex of theatrics, impulsive decisions, and escalating drama that generates its own gravitational pull. Jimmy molds the chaos into a monument of comedy, while Bill concludes with a swirl of dramatic energy, framing Trump's latest chapter as the prologue to yet another spectacle awaiting ignition. The air hangs thick, ready for the next eruption. Jimmy surges back like a spotlight, crashing onto a stage unprepared for illumination, while Trump stiffly attempts composure, resembling a cardboard cutout bracing a hurricane. The tension rises until it hums like a power line about to snap. Jimmy converts every faltering motion into visual bursts of comedic drama. Bill steps in with measured confidence, navigating a stage where every prop leans precariously, twisting the scene into a cinematic tableau overflowing with irony. The panorama bends and folds under the weight of theatrical brilliance.
To the Washington Post, since Trump installed himself as chairman of the board back in February, ticket sales at the Kennedy Center have taken a nosedive. So far, the Kennedy Center has only sold 57% of their tickets, which is down from 93% at this time last year. Everything he touches dies. Good news, Malone. The lack of ticket sales hasn't discouraged the tantrum of the opera one bit. He took a break from posting photos of the new Lincoln toilet to brag about his new Trumpified Kennedy Center. He wrote, "It is really looking good. The exterior columns, which were in serious danger of corrosion if something weren't done, are completed and look magnificent."
Jimmy rides the wave of energy, framing Trump's stance as wedged between attempted grandeur and accidental slapstick. Each gesture lands with the precision of a door slamming in an empty hallway, elongated into slow-motion unraveling that glimmers with comedic perfection. Every second pulses with unpredictable rhythm. Bill returns, shaping the chaos into a narrative where Trump is caught between two performances he never rehearsed, one dramatic, one unintentionally hilarious. The imbalance swirls around him like a curtain in a gale. Bill transforms the scene into a masterpiece of exaggerated tension, vibrating with comedic electricity. Jimmy sharpens the intensity, presenting Trump's presence as a monument carved from unstable ambition and half-formed plans, cracks spreading with every forced theatrical movement. Jimmy emphasizes each flaw until it becomes irresistibly vivid. Bill guides the script to a new rise, building toward a grand finale of faltering bravado, spiraling gestures, and sparkling irony. Trump's world trembles with each misplaced exertion of authority, the air thick with comedic anticipation, as Bill pushes the scene to a peak of humor so rich it feels like a cliffhanger waiting for the next shockwave.